What if you could legally reduce your tax to nearly zero, protect your assets offshore, and live in a Mediterranean country that rewards business owners, offers EU stability, and gives you the freedom to design a life on your own terms? A life where your mornings begin with ocean air, your afternoons are spent building a global business from a sunny terrace, and your evenings unfold over wine and seafood by the water. For Aussies looking to go global, there's one jurisdiction quietly becoming a favorite: Malta. Hi, I'm Virna White, CEO of Wellsafe, and our mission is simple: to help Aussies reclaim their sovereignty, their lifestyle freedom, their time freedom, their emotional and spiritual freedom, and build long-term legacy wealth, with tax savings becoming the natural byproduct of going global the right way. And today, I want to share how one of my clients, James, restructured his business from an Australian company to a US LLC to match his global footprint legally, strategically, and with complete ATO compliance. When James first came to Wellsafe, he had achieved what many Australians dream of: a thriving Amazon online business and a solid investment portfolio. But success had created complexity. James ran his 7-figure Amazon e-commerce business through an Australian company, with 90% of his customers in the United States and 10% in Europe, and growing exposure to US warehouses, fulfillment, and payments. His goal: scale the Amazon business to $50 million worldwide. But here was a real issue. He was still trapped inside the Australian tax system on income that was sourced in the US. And he wanted a life built on freedom: sunrise walks along St. Julian's Promenade, boat trips to Gozo with his family, and evenings unfolding over wine and seafood by the water. EU stability, warm weather, safety, and a daily rhythm that felt peaceful, grounded, and sovereign. He didn't just want to scale his business, he wanted his life back. He wanted a structure that matched his global lifestyle. He wanted sovereignty. We designed a complete wealth control offshore strategy that matched James' business reality: an Australian founder living in Malta, running a US Amazon business, because at Wellsafe, compliance is the foundation of freedom. Step 1, Malta PMRP Residency. James relocated under the Malta Permanent Residence Program. This gave him low tax on foreign sourced income, EU credibility and stability, and a lifestyle that supports global business. A base where he could live in sunlight, space, and peace, not chained to a system that punished his success. Step 2, moving his Amazon business into a US LLC. This was the central piece. We restructured James' Amazon operations from his Australian company into a US LLC because 90% of the revenue was already US sourced. Amazon prioritizes US entities for ranking and logistics. US LLCs reduce frictions with suppliers, payments, and warehouses. And when structured correctly, the LLC is not taxed in the US because James is not a US person. Benefits included: massive reduction in operating costs, smoother banking and merchant onboarding, improved Amazon trust and ranking, far fewer compliance issues versus running a US business from Australia, elimination of Australian company tax on US source revenue once he became a non-resident. Step 3, international banking base. We built multi-currency banking for USD revenue, Amazon settlements, supplier payments, profit extraction. This 3-layered structure became his global freedom blueprint for the next decade. Within months, everything shifted. His Amazon business moved into a US operating base. Payment flows improved dramatically. He reduced structural tax leakage. He completed his ATO residency exit in the correct sequence. He relocated to Malta under PMRP. But the biggest change wasn't tax. It was freedom. James now works from cafes overlooking the Grand Harbour. He swims before breakfast. His children attend a world-class international school. His wife enjoys the safety and beauty of Maltese island life. They spend weekends exploring what Malta has to offer, evenings sharing wine with friends along the waterfront. He reinvests profits globally without fear, without restriction, and without unnecessary tax loss. And for the first time in decades, he feels peace, real peace around tax, compliance, and global business risk. Malta offers Australian entrepreneurs something rare: a compliant EU-recognised residency with access to global tax efficiency, low tax on foreign sourced income, stable EU jurisdiction, attractive PMRP, MPRP pathways, international banking hubs close by, predictable legal system, and importantly, OECD compliant. No grey zones, no secrecy schemes, everything done the right way. At Wellsafe, our global strategies are legally watertight. We ensure proper residency planning, real commercial substance, CFC, CMC compliance, transfer pricing considerations, contracts, agreements, documentation for protection, because true freedom is built on compliance. Going global is more than a tax advantage. It's a lifestyle and business hub for founders who think beyond borders. But the truth is this: your strategy must always start with Australia. Australia is your legal domicile. Australia is your place of abode. Australia is a jurisdiction that will fight the hardest to keep you in its tax net. So everything we build is grounded in strict compliance: court rulings, income tax rulings, ATO guidelines, residency tests, CFC, CMC laws, compliance documentation. We stay across what's coming out of the courts right now, backed by our registered, licensed professional team, including tax lawyers, capital gain tax specialists, international planning experts, registered international agents, compliance specialists, all working together to bridge Australian and international law. And for clients who want a long-term global strategy, we also integrate wealth mobility, intergenerational planning, asset protection layering, and a family office style framework, ensuring your structure not only works today, but protects your family and your assets and your freedom for decades to come. Your offshore bridge must be built from Australia outward in the right order to avoid ATO scrutiny, double taxation, and risk. Because at Wellsafe, compliance isn't the cost of freedom, it is the source of freedom. So if you're ready to take control of your income, if you want a structure that lets you scale globally without fear, then Malta, combined with a properly structured US LLC, may be the strategy that you've been searching for. At Wellsafe, we help Australians just like James move their Amazon businesses offshore legally, safely, and strategically. Subscribe for more global strategy insights or visit wellsafe.com.au to book your offshore qualifying strategy session, because freedom isn't accidental, freedom is intentional, freedom is structured, freedom is built on compliance, freedom is designed.